Ray Brown's Talkin' Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
And by Vortex Optics, with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
And by Brome, where bird feeding meets innovation. Discover truly squirrel-proof bird feeders, all backed by lifetime care commitment. Learn more at brome.com.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome to our show, number 994. Our show is about wild birds and birding. It's also about conservation. And since this is Plastic-Free July all over the world, we're focusing a bit more than usual on conservation issues, including plastic pollution. We'll have lots about birds as well. Here's a little bit of good news on the plastic pollution front from the state of New York. We're beginning on January 1st, 2025. Those little single-use bottles of hospitality personal care products, like conditioner, shampoo, and such, will be banned in hotels with 50 or more rooms. Hotels with fewer than 50 rooms will come under the ban in 2026. New York is following at least one other state, Hawaii, in enacting this single-use plastic ban. Here's another conservation story. We've heard some folks say that you don't want an electric vehicle if you live in a cold climate because EVs are no good in cold weather. Well, the folks saying that are probably not from Norway, where it gets pretty cold in the winter. Guess what percentage of new car sales in Norway is represented by electric cars, EVs, not hybrids? The answer is 80%. That's right, 8 out of every 10 new cars being sold in Norway are pure electric vehicles. By the way, U.S. EV sales are strong and getting stronger. We'll have more on that later. And electric power isn't just for cars. On today's show, we'll talk with a special guest about a fast-growing effort all across the U.S. to transform a certain type of vehicle to electric power. That vehicle is the school bus. Amy McGuire, whose company is working... Okay, that's good with the horn there. Amy McGuire, whose company is working with school departments around the country to facilitate that school bus changeover, will be with us to tell us all about it. And wait until you hear what inspired her company's CEO to embark upon this clean energy project. We have an audio postcard here. We have, in fact, two of them. One from Jim, checking in from Belize, Central America. First, one from Lori in Southeast Arizona.
Hey, Talkin' Birds flock. This is your ambassador from Sierra Vista, Arizona, Lori Lamb. I am at the Ash Canyon Bird Sanctuary. It's a humid day, which is kind of odd for Southeast Arizona. This morning it was a cool 68 degrees, and now it's about 82 degrees. I'm seeing lots of lesser goldfinches. Oh, there's a Mexican jay that just flew in and calling, looking for a little snack. There are Anna's hummingbirds surrounding me. We're waiting on the second spring, which is just after the monsoons, when we can see at least 12 species of hummingbirds. And when we're lucky, after a good monsoon, we may see 15 species of hummingbirds, including Lucifer, Riveles, Calliope, and more. Have a great day. Bye, Ray.
Bye, Lori, and thank you for that awesome Ash Canyon audio postcard. We have something else for which to thank Lori. She, along with Etienne Martin, will be hosting a Talkin' Birds table at the upcoming Southwest Wings Birding and Nature Festival, which will begin on the 31st of this month there in Sierra Vista, Arizona. So thank you, Lori, and thank you, Etienne. Our second of two audio postcards today comes from Belize, sent to us by Dr. Jim Randolph. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Ray and Talking Birds fans. Ambassador Jim Randolph here from Cape Cocker, Belize. In the background, you'll hear the omnipresent great-tailed grackle. There he is again. And overhead is the silent but majestic, magnificent frigate bird. You may also hear the famous song by ABBA, Fernando, who was one of our guides here. We sang this song to him repeatedly. We traveled fairly extensively through Belize, and on this outing saw 199 species of birds, and I added over 100 lifers. It is a beautiful country with beautiful birds and beautiful people and beautiful mammals and beautiful herps. Happy birding, everyone.
Happy birding to you, Jim. That was a beautiful postcard there. We love getting these audio postcards. Send us one. It's easy to make. Just grab your smartphone or borrow one. Just record a little description of the bird or birds that you're seeing in Belize or your backyard or any place else. And just mail the file, email to Ray at Talking Birds. That's Ray at talkingbirds.com. Almost forgot that part there. That's our mystery bird. A preview here of our Mystery Bird contest, in which the winner will win some beautiful prizes and also be eligible for a really extra special prize on our show number 1000 coming up on the 25th of August. Today's prizes include a Brome Squirrel Solution 150 feeder, genuinely squirrel-proof and chew-proof too. And our newest Mystery Bird contest prize, a one-year subscription to the new birding magazine, BWD, founded in 1978 as Birdwatchers Digest, now back and better than ever. Prizes on our Mystery Bird contest this morning. Our Mystery Bird is a small, active, neotropical songbird. The male is black with orange patches on the sides of the chest and on the wings and tail, with white underparts. The female is mostly gray with patches of yellow, replacing the male's bright orange. Our bird, which breeds over most of the U.S. from Alaska to the Gulf states and winters in South Florida and down into the tropics, feeds on insects and some small fruits. That is our mystery bird, and the clues and the prizes there. And the other thing is the phone number, which is the most important for your calls on our mystery bird contest. Well, this is just the preview of the contest, but I'll give the number anyway, just so you'll have it. And since I started talking about it, at 781-837-4900. We'll give that again when we do the actual contest just a little bit later. Right now, we do a salute. To another Talking Birds ambassador. Joining our ambassador's family, Stephen Boyd from Hanover, Massachusetts. Stephen tells us he's a barber and that he shares his birding experiences with his customers. That's a captive audience right there. Good for you, Stephen, for that and for becoming a Talking Birds ambassador. We rely on our ambassadors to help us get the word out about our show and about birds and conservation, which is what we're trying to enhance here. To become an ambassador, just go to our website, talkingbirds.com, and click on the Get Involved tab at the top of the homepage. Really easy. Still to come on our show today, Amy McGuire from Highland Electric Fleets will tell us how her company is turning toxic exhaust-spewing school buses into clean energy machines. Also today, Mike O'Connor will join us for a live Let's Ask Mike segment about those feisty little house wrens. And up next, a bright blue gem of a bird is today's featured feathered friend. The lazuli bunting is a stocky, finch-like songbird. The male glows with the blue of the lapis gemstone for which it's named, on its head, throat, nape, and back, with that shocking blue contrasting with the cinnamon orange breast and white belly. Females are a warm brown above, with touches of blue on the wings and tail. Single wing bars are white in the male, tan in the female. The lazuli bunting's beauty is reflected in its scientific name, Passerina amoina, beautiful sparrow. Although it's not a member of the sparrow family, it's related to cardinals and some grosbeaks. The lazuli bunting breeds through almost all of the American West and winters in Mexico. It feeds by plucking insects from understory leaves and also feeds on berries as well as seeds from chickweed, wild oats, and other grasses. And it will often visit western backyard bird feeders, showing a preference for white proso millet. While most bird species molt their feathers on either the breeding grounds or wintering grounds, the lazuli bunting does it differently. After breeding, they begin molting some feathers, but then head on to the southwestern U.S. and northwest Mexico, where monsoon rains provide abundant insects, and finish their molting process there before completing their southern migration for the winter. Lazuli buntings are cup nesters and are vulnerable to brown-headed cowbirds, which lay their eggs in the nests of other species and rely on the unsuspecting parents to raise cowbird young at the expense of their own. Fortunately, though, the latest studies suggest that lazuli bunting population numbers remain steady. Today's featured feathered friend, Passerina amoyna, the lazuli bunting. Welcome again to our show, number 994. Well, Amy McGuire is Senior Director of Market Development for Highland Electric Fleets. And she joins us now to talk about their efforts to transform school bus fleets to electric propulsion. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning, Ray. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure indeed. Well, for those of us who are EV advocates, the idea of electric-powered school buses seems like kind of a no-brainer for a number of reasons. And among those taking notice of what your company is doing is Time magazine, which has chosen Highland Electric Fleets as one of its 100 most influential companies for 2024. That must have caused some excitement around the office.
It sure did. Yeah, we've been working away for the last 5 years, slowly growing, and now it seems making some good impact.
Indeed. Well, in Time's piece about this most influential company's choice, your CEO, Duncan McIntyre, spoke about how he was jarred the first time he saw a school bus tailpipe spewing harmful particulates and pollutants at the exact same height as his second grader son's mouth. And Duncan said, quote, "I realized just how important it was to provide cleaner, healthier transportation for the next generation," end quote. So tell us, Amy, about your company's part in this effort to electrify school buses, and also where are we now in the march to provide that cleaner, healthier transportation?
Thanks for the question, Ray. Well, I think we are on our way. Electrification of transportation generally is certainly taking off. You mentioned being an EV enthusiast yourself. Mm-hmm. And school buses is another vehicle sector that has the technology ready to be deployed. And we're at a place where educating people of what's possible and finding funding and the pathways to execute is really where we are. And that's where Highland comes in. Our goal, our mission, our premise as a business is around helping bridging the gap for public fleets, particularly school bus fleets, to be able to transition to electrics.
Mm-hmm. I watched a webinar from Highland Electric Fleets, which was titled Bus Driver Roundtable, and it talked about the overall process of converting and technology and maintenance and range anxiety, weather-related performance, and driver experience. And that last one certainly is important in all of this. And it seemed watching this that some drivers were a little skeptical about what it would be like to drive an electric bus. But it seemed as once they did it, they found it was pretty much like driving a diesel bus, or I guess a gas bus, but easier, smoother, better in performance, quieter, cleaner. Is that a general fair assessment of the driver feedback?
It sure is. I think you're right. There's understandable maybe skepticism or just hesitation. It's an unknown, it's new technology, and that can be challenging for all of us. But once you get the opportunity to experience it, especially as a bus driver, what we found is overall the experience is really pleasant and actually quite fun. I've heard a few drivers particularly excited about the acceleration capabilities of an electric motor. So overall, very positive feedback from our drivers.
Well, I think that there's still that thing existing that people think maybe electric vehicles are slow, and exactly the opposite is the case.
Exactly right. Yes, electric motors are both very efficient and quite powerful. Of course, all of our drivers are keep children's safety top of mind, but the buses work really well, and I think overall a huge benefit for everyone.
Well, the Times story mentions an all-encompassing approach, as they describe it, that includes a vehicle-to-grid trick. When students are in class or at home, the bus's batteries can store excess renewable energy from the local grid or provide power to help meet demand surges and prevent outages. Tell us a bit about how that would work, Amy, if you would.
I'm very pleased to. You've hit on my particular area of interest and expertise, where we can think about school buses and any electric vehicle really as a big rolling battery. So if it has downtime, we can think about how to optimize the use of that battery and benefit all of us even more broadly. So the technology we have today allows us to plug in the buses and what we call bidirectional chargers. And instead of just charging the bus, we can discharge back onto the grid when there might be a peak demand time, the summer when everyone is using air conditioning. We can, instead of having a utility need to call on gas power plants, for example, or other resources, they can call on batteries that sit in our buses and aren't doing anything else at that time. So it's a really exciting opportunity as we continue to add electric school buses to the broader fleet and then work with our utility partners to fully utilize them.
Well, getting back to the health issue, your CEO is quoted as saying the biggest benefit he expects to see as electric school buses multiply are fewer asthma-related absences during the school year. That sounds like a big deal. Is there some direct evidence that that would happen with the expansion of electric school bus use?
Absolutely. We've seen a number of different studies over the years around diesel emissions and the negative health impacts that can have. And what we've seen the American Journal of Respiratory and Critical Care Medicine investigate is what would happen if we transition those vehicles to non-polluting alternatives, so electric vehicles. With less emissions, you have data that backs the statement that you'd have less respiratory ailment, less hospitalizations, less absenteeism from school, and therefore dramatic improvements to educational opportunity for all of our students.
Well, so talking about education, so for municipal leaders and school administrators, Amy, who may be listening right now, is your website a good place to start to learn more about this?
Yes, please check out our website, highlandfleets.com. We have worked hard to make sure that there's a lot of information available, as well as opportunities to reach out and simply ask us questions. What we've found is probably the biggest gap at the moment is education and awareness around what is possible today. And we're here and available to help answer questions and understand what it would entail to electrify a school bus fleet or any public fleet for that matter.
Highlandfleets.com.
Highlandfleets.com.
Right. Amy McGuire is Senior Director of Market Development for Highland Electric Fleets, big players in the move to clean, healthy school bus transportation. Amy, thank you for being with us. We'll be following your progress.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Up next, it's our mystery bird contest in just 1 minute. The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to add a few species to your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you'd like to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com. There's our mystery bird. What is that bird? Tell us or take your guess. No correct answer could still be a winner because we'll do a drawing and somebody will win that way if you'll give us a call at this number, 781-837-4900. That's 781-837-4900. Our mystery bird is a small, active, neotropical songbird from down there, mostly in Central America in the wintertime. The male is black with orange patches on the sides of the chest and on the wings and tail, and has white underparts. Female mostly gray with patches of yellow replacing the male's bright orange. Our bird breeds over most of the U.S., from Alaska to the Gulf states, and winters in South Florida and down into the tropics. It feeds on insects and small fruits, and it's our mystery bird. And beautiful prizes await, including the Brome Squirrel Solution 150 feeder, genuinely squirrel-proof and chew-proof, and easy to clean. Vented seed tray keeps the seed fresh and dry. In our newest Mystery Bird Contest prize, a 1-year subscription to the great new birding magazine BWD, originally founded in 1978 as Birdwatcher's Digest. And a reminder, too, that our winner today, as was the case for last week's winner and the one before that, will be extra eligible. That's for a very special prize on our show number 1000 coming along on August 25th. So some pretty good reasons to enter our Mystery Bird Contest. If you know the bird or can take a guess at it, either one could work. 781-837-4900 is the number. Meanwhile, it's Let's Ask Mike live in just 1 minute.
Welcome to a world where bird feeding is enjoyable for both you and your feathered friends. Introducing Squirrel Buster Bird Feeders by Brome. Our innovative feeders are designed to keep squirrels at bay, ensuring that your garden birds get their fair share. And the best part? We offer lifetime care for every feeder, making your purchase worry-free. Transform your garden into a bird paradise and keep it that way forever. Sorry, squirrels, it's just for the birds this time. Visit Brome.com, BROME.com, to discover our full range of Squirrel Buster feeders and join the Brome family today. Brome, where birds come first, and our commitment to you lasts a lifetime.
Well, last week, our featured feathered friend was a very feisty bird called a thick-billed kingbird. Today, we're going to talk with Mike O'Connor about a bird that may be equally feisty or maybe even more. It's a common but unusually behaving in many ways bird called the house wren. Mike, good morning.
Oh, good morning, Ray. Yeah, good morning. And great show, by the way. I love that electric car talk, electric bus talk.
Yeah, me too.
And also, I just wanted to mention, you got a kind of a widespread fan base out there. I've had visitors from North Carolina the last week or so, and a whole family from Kentucky also. So stopping in. They're big fans of the show, and they came in to see me on the Cape to tell me how much they enjoyed the show. So congrats on spreading Talking Birds, because a lot of people are listening.
Thanks for doing that.
So
Have you learned how to say, do you say y'all when you talk to those folks? Or have you learned that?
I got to practice my Southern a little bit better.
I think that there's several people it's all y'all, but I'm not sure about that. I think so.
I'll look that up.
So the house wren, anyway, what we've had them nesting in our Talking Birds garden here a number of times. They are feisty little critters, aren't they?
Oh, they're out of their minds. They're a little bit on the psycho side, actually. My favorite bird's a chickadee, but the chickadee is pretty predictable and pretty standard. But house wrens, the first thing interesting about house wrens is, I always thought, or most people think, house wren being a suburban, cute backyard bird from, fairly limited range like a lot of the wrens. But this is the most widespread longitudinal range songbird in the world. They nest from Canada all the way to the very southern tip of South America. They're everywhere in the Americas. And they're spread far and wide. And you could have one in your backyard or in the woods or in the jungle. But the interesting thing about this bird, a customer came in and said she just had a family of house wrens nesting, and the family fed the babies, and then the babies and the female disappeared, and the male is still here singing away, and she wants to know what happened to the family and the female, what happened to the kids and the female. And like I said, they're unpredictable, and sometimes for a second brood, the female will take the kid, this is like a reality show, leave the male's territory, fly off some fairly close distant place, and start a second brood with a different male. Like a lot of birds have two broods, but they're typically with the same spouse, we'll say. But not always a house wren. She'll fly off someplace else. So right now the male's still singing away, trying to attract a new female, but his first partner is already gone, packed up with the kids. Wow. And when we talk about psychos, these birds are unbelievably aggressive, and they're not always as cheery as we like them to be, because they'll sometimes invade other nests and destroy the other nests. There's a whole story with that, but once the banjo starts playing, I know my time's up.
That's it, yeah. Wow, that's some crazy stuff. I don't think the thick-billed kingbird does much of any of that other stuff there.
It's just too hard to say.
Exactly. All right, Mike, thank you, and we'll talk to you next week.
You got it.
All right, Mike O'Connor there. From the famous Birdwatchers General Store on Cape Cod. And we are getting, of course, very short on time, and we'll barely be able to squeeze a call in here, I think. But I think we have a whole new studio system here, but Jesse is doing an amazing job getting through it. And we've got a call here from Susan in Yarmouth Port, Massachusetts. Good morning, Susan.
Hello?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, we have a whole new setup here with all new fancy equipment and stuff, which is it's working, but we're, a little learning curve.
My guess is the American redstart.
Yeah.
The American redstart?
The American redstart. That's what you said, and I think probably it's right. So before we run out of time, we better say yes. Absolutely right. The American redstart, amazingly beautiful bird, and Susan, you are correct. And if you'll stand on the line there, Jesse will do his best to get the information for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next week we continue to celebrate Plastic-Free July when we welcome a very special guest who combines a love of birds and bird conservation as the co-director of the Missouri River Bird Conservancy, with a dedication to preserving our planet through her work with the organization Beyond Plastics. Dana Ripper will be here with us on our next show. We hope you'll be tuned in. Thanks for listening, and see you next week.
The bird show. I like that. I love it.
Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
And by Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
And by Brome, where bird feeding meets innovation. Discover truly squirrel-proof bird feeders, all backed by lifetime care commitment. Learn more at brome.com.